Most of my life growing up, I was honestly kind of a loser. I didn't have anything going for me. I kind of was fed up of that. I wanted to change things. So I decided enough was enough. I'm going to sign up to my local gym, which it was a lot harder than how I'm explaining it. It took a lot more effort to get to sign up to the gym. I decided enough was enough and I was going to change my life. It was going to change from this point forward. So I went to my local gym and signed up. And now fast forward 7 years of trials, tribulations, hard work, dedication, and to be honest, a lot of fun. I changed my life. I am a completely different person. I would be surprised to see the Rami that never ended up going to the gym, that never ended up signing up that day. I'm so grateful to have found a love for the gym and to go through hard work and understand what true discipline is. And in that, my character has changed. It feels very important to me to give you some sort of context to why I love the gym, because maybe that will relate to you in some way, shape, or form, and maybe get you to a bit more motivated, that you may be able to change your life and achieve something you didn't think was possible. There are certain muscles on the body that just make you look better. When you train them over other muscles, they just look better, making you look bigger than you actually do look. So the first of these muscle groups is the shoulders, in my opinion, especially the side delt. Having huge shoulders and very wide shoulders makes it a very key part of an aesthetic body and the stronger V-taper look. How do we hit the shoulders, especially the side of the shoulders? You need to incorporate into your workout plans military presses, machine presses, all these upper pressing movements. Incorporating these on the days you are training shoulders is a must to grow the overall size of the shoulder. But how do we grow the side delt? You need to incorporate a bunch of shoulder lateral raises is what you need to incorporate. You always hear the joke of spamming lateral raises is the cheat code to growing your shoulders. It literally is. You can do dumbbells, you can use cables, and you can do leaning cables for the best range of motion out of all of them. I will highly suggest to go to the cables and do leaning lateral raises if you want to see the best growth in your shoulders, because the range of motion is so much longer than the others that it increases how much muscle you're going to grow and how much swinging and motion, it takes it all out of the movement. It's a very difficult movement. You aren't hitting the shoulders enough. Most people when they go to train shoulders are going and hitting 3 sets per exercise, and understand this is why most people don't have good big shoulders. You need to be at least a minimum of 5 sets per exercise, especially with the lateral raises, to have the best muscle growth and to actually develop the shoulders. They can take a lot and people don't understand it. They only hit their shoulders with 3 sets per exercise, and most people have really bad shoulders because they just don't hit it enough. Once I started incorporating a proper amount of volume for my shoulders, they started to grow very fast. And a very common mistake people do is neglecting the rear delts. It actually adds such a fullness in your shoulder. It gives your shoulder a fuller look. You need to start hitting your rear delts and taking it as seriously as you do every other muscle group. The next muscle group is chest, and boy, my chest sucked. For the majority of my gym life, I had the worst chest and I thought I had really bad chest genetics. Until I decided, let me take it seriously. Let me try my hardest to grow this muscle and let's see what I can do. I blew myself away with the results I got after just taking it a bit more seriously. Once I started incorporating upper chest movements and taking my upper chest a lot more seriously, I started to get that body armor look. It is caused by the upper chest because it will allow you to have this amazing aesthetic look that most people want. Start to incorporate upper chest movements as one of your first movements. Trying to focus on the upper chest more than anything else on your chest. Put in your mind a conscious effort to grow this muscle and watch as your chest blows up. To target more of the upper chest, I would say use machines that allow you to push way more reps than what you would normally do on free weights. Because you're balancing all the time with all the free weights, you now use a lot of energy for that. But if you're on a machine, it's stable. All you do is push and you can just focus on the mind-muscle connection and you will end up getting 10 more reps than what you would on free weights. This in turn will lead to the best muscle gain for you and the quickest gain to get that upper chest look. And recently for me, the Smith machine has been my favorite. I'll pump out like 20 reps and have the biggest pump and soreness the next day on my upper chest. I'm going to have a video up very soon on how I blow up each of these muscle groups very fast. So be sure to subscribe. Having a well-developed all-round back is one of the main staples for an aesthetic body, but in particular, having developed lats, giving you the strongest V-taper possible and giving you that very wide aesthetic look. Lats should be your main focus, and then the upper traps should be also a staple and a good focus. Developing your back and getting your back as big as you possibly can makes your waist look smaller, giving you that V-taper look, amplifying your upper body, making you look bigger for less. I don't know what I just did there. Make sure to have a mind-muscle connection. A lot of people just row. They just use momentum and they just pull it. But when you are pulling and squeezing at the end, really focusing on the mind-muscle connection, for the lats, we want a lat pull down that's a medium grip. You don't want to go wide, you don't want to go too far in, you want medium grip. This has been proven for the best lat activation. Now, if you want to grow the traps, you want to do shrugs, especially Smith machine shrugs. For the overall back development, a row. And if you want more lat development while doing a row, go for a closer grip. This will allow for the best back development. Trust me, I have built a very good back over the years. Rowing is a must. Bent over row, seated row, T-bar row. All of these rows are phenomenal. Dumbbell rows. Doing any sort of row, legs are needed for an aesthetic body. I don't know about you, I ain't walking around with chicken legs. I'm just telling you that now. If my legs are smaller than my upper body, there's a problem. To have a proper aesthetic body, in my opinion, you need big legs. This may be a biased opinion because I love legs little, but I've been in love with training my legs recently and it has been the best thing ever because my legs have been blowing up. They're growing so fast. Heavy squats are a must. And then after the heavy squats, go into high rep leg extensions. 20 reps of a very heavy weight and try to push out as much as you can. This will give you the best leg development you've ever had in your life. Do not, and I repeat, do not forget about calf raises. You need to grow your calves. Start properly implementing calf raises into that. No one is going to take you seriously with an aesthetic body if your calves are small. Make sure you are doing them correctly with intention, proper sets, and not just bouncing. Sit in the movement and go very slowly. This will develop your calves very fast. You need to train abs for an aesthetic body. It is the basis of your whole body. It is the core, and when you have a weak core, you're just going to be led to injury. So why not train it? Giving yourself bigger abs, which then means you can be a bit fatter and have your abs still showing. The bigger your abs are, the more they will show through your fat. Not going to make you look any less aesthetic. They're going to make you look more aesthetic. Most people have poorly developed abs, and especially poorly developed lower abs. You need to develop the lower abs because when you lose weight, nothing's going to be there unless you train it. With hanging leg extensions, hanging knee leg extensions for the beginners, and it's a lot easier to do to push yourself. You need to do also reverse sit-ups, reverse decline sit-ups, which are one of my favorites recently to develop my abs, and also sit-ups and decline sit-ups once you become more advanced. How consistent should you be in the gym to gain the best amount of muscle? It has been scientifically proven that training each muscle group twice a week is the best for the most efficient muscle growth possible. You need to do a push-pull legs or Arnold split, or a split that allows you to train each muscle group twice a week. So with resting, you need to rest at least 3 days between each big session. Otherwise, you may become injured and overtrain, giving yourself diminishing returns, which we don't want. So try to give yourself at least 3 days of rest between each big session. Having better and more high quality sleep will lead to the best results of recovery, how much muscle you gain. The best testosterone booster you can get as a natural is sleep, higher quality sleep. So if you focus down on your sleep, you are in turn going to give yourself the best results, putting yourself in the best position possible. For everybody who's trying to put on as much muscle as possible, you need to lean bulk. It will put as much muscle on the body as possible with as little fat as possible. Versus a dirty bulk, you will just get really fat and then it just doesn't work well. You want to be confident in yourself, you need to lean bulk because you will have skyrocketing strength and muscle gains with as little fat gain as possible. To put your body in the best position for protein synthesis, you need a high protein diet. So try to focus down on just eating more high protein food, giving yourself a aesthetic body year round. I do recommend counting calories for a little bit for all the new people to understand if you're eating well above your calories or well under. This will allow you to have a good and better understanding of how much you can eat in your day-to-day and give you more understanding of what the foods actually contain in them and how many calories and how many proteins are in each foods. which is a must. It will push you a step ahead of everybody else. If you are starting off the gym and above 15% body fat percentage, you need to put yourself in a caloric deficit. Come down and bring your body weight down a bit more until you are in the 10 to 15% body fat mark. This will give you the best amount of self-confidence in you, loving yourself more. You will always hear these people say, oh, you need a lean bulk to gain muscle. If you are not confident with yourself now, let's just try to get you somewhat confident and more in love with you before you start to gain as much muscle and before you start to get in this process of gaining weight. So the perfect range in my opinion is 10 to 15, and even then I would suggest 10 being a bit too low too. If you are above the 15% body fat mark, put yourself in a caloric deficit for a little while. To put yourself in a caloric deficit, you need to put your maintenance and just go slightly below that. This will help you lose as much weight as possible. Implement good eating habits to make your life so much easier on a diet. Having your favorite desserts and favorite foods as a higher protein option can save you so many more calories and make you feel so much better. I love cheesecake, but if I make a healthy alternative high protein version of the cheesecake, I then can save nearly half the calories and get a higher protein diet in. Doing these slight fixes in your diet habits can make the diet so much easier for you, making it a lifestyle change, which is what we want. We don't want to just be on a diet. We want to be on a lifestyle change. You just eat healthier, you eat better, you have better eating decisions, habits. This will help you lose as much weight as possible. Also remember, remove liquid calories. Understand all these sugary drinks that you are drinking are a waste of calories. Every time you are drinking 1 can of Coke, that's nearly 250 calories. So much better foods you could be eating for your body. I would highly suggest diet drinks over sugary drinks. I hope this helps and gets you further on your journey to the aesthetic body. If you did enjoy the video, you'll probably enjoy this one. Like and subscribe, means the world to me.